What does Tamarack mean? I have no idea. But it has a good sound, Tamarack.
Once we've got a building up, got some land, got going, once that happened, then we could lay claim to appropriation. And none of the regional camps did. You want to remember, this was the breakthrough. And South Bend followed immediately after. And they got a better first building than we did because of our building.
For the first 9 years or so, Gary Main, as Tamarack was called, was the only building. And it housed the bookstore, the library, the place where people ate, and basically all the classes, as well as offices for the administration, such as it was, and faculty.
Actually, my first experience with Tamarack was when I was 14 years old. I was a student at Morton High School, and I was in an acting class, and we came out to see Mother Courage. And I remember walking into the Tamarack Theater and just being starstruck. I mean, it was such a beautiful facility, and I saw that show, and from that minute, I knew that when I graduated, I was going to come here and study theater.
It was really the only theater we had here in Northwest Indiana. That was it. That was open to the public. And I remember they came in from everywhere in this area. We also had actors that we cast from this area. It was really very rewarding. Something I'll never forget, something I say that I've been blessed with an opportunity to be here at IU Northwest.
The Tamarack Theater has had, hundreds of thousands of people through it over the course of the years, and whether it was a theatrical production or special events on campus, there was always something going on in that theater space.
I remember seeing presidential candidate Jimmy Carter speak in 1976 in that auditorium. I remember Jesse Jackson coming out and speaking when he was running for president, probably in 1984.
Well, it really seemed like the hub of the campus. It was there that there was always activity, always students going through, that of course as a theater major, that's where we lived.
There was a cohesiveness in the early days about so much going on in a single building. Teaching memories stand out. I have friends that started out as my students that go back to those early days of the 70s that I'm still in touch with. So I have teaching memories, collegiate memories, as well as fond memories of things that went on in the auditorium.
And I can't leave here without talking about the flood and what kind of experience that was.
When it flooded, it was tragic. It was sad. I'm not sure if we would ever have a theater like that. It was really something wonderful.
And the sudden loss of that facility and the ability to produce in it was devastating. But what I found is that spirit that was alive in Tamarack allowed us to push through and find very creative ways to use spaces off campus and then on campus. Producing in this auditorium became a primary way of which we could carry that on. We produced a show in Raintree 102, which amazed me at the work of what our scene designer and tech directors and directors could do. I mean, it was just unbelievable. But I think that feeling, and I call it the Tamarack spirit, just that embedded feeling that this is an important part of this campus and it will live on.
I cried when they began to tear down that building. But it's not gone. It's right here. It's too bad, because some people never even know that existed. But there are many who will. Faculty, secretaries, people in the community will always remember that building called Tamarack.